Peace, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. It is I, me, Soli. And I'm out here spreading them good vibes, and hopefully today you get to feel it too. Now let's jump right into the video and learn something new. So today we'll be talking about reptilians. We will start off with the Acrumaeds. I honestly don't know how to say. I don't know how to pronounce the name. But it's like it's ACR. So Acrumaed, something like that. I'm so sorry, but the name. Some of these reptilian names are just so out of this world. But yeah, so Acrumaeds. So before I jump into the video, I do want to just state that not all reptilians are the same, because we human beings, or rather I should say this, there has been a specific minority of reptilians that kind of made a reputation for reptilians as a whole, because predominantly when you think of reptilian, a sense of fear kind of comes up, because we correlate reptilians as being destructive, being warmongers, and they are all of these things, most definitely. Like, there are certain reptilians are like this, because specific reptilian beings, they kind of lack the feminine counterpart, the feminine, the intuition, the emotion. And they're most of the time just they're logically based, they're more logical than anything. So they have that ability, to like enslave other species and shit like that. But yes, I do want to make a disclaimer that, like, not all reptilian beings are the same, even though we have been made to believe so to a degree. But it's because, our lack of understanding of these other dimensional beings. We call them aliens, but I guess you can say they're aliens too, but ultimately they're just other multidimensional beings. And the thing about alien is, for instance, in America, whenever someone comes from a different country, like an immigrant, another word for immigrant is also alien. So ultimately, all an alien is a being that came from another planet or another place. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So it's like, because we call illegal immigrants aliens as well, and it's like that's really all it is. An alien is just like a being or someone who is in a sense alien to the land, like foreign to the land, rather I should say. Something that is foreign to our planet would be considered alien, and that's just what alien is. And it's funny because honestly, reptilians, technically they're not really aliens, because they were here before us. Reptilian beings were actually like not the original humans, but the reptilian beings were like the first avatars, or the first beings that walked among this earth. So to a degree, it's like I don't want to say that we are the aliens, but it's like, yeah, they have been here for a while, but yes, I want to structure this. So yes, I did want to leave that disclaimer real quick, that not all reptilians are the same, that there are, just as in this life or in this earth realm we see a multitude of different reptiles, like there are reptiles come in different shapes, sizes, and forms, so too do these galactic reptilians, And reptilian beings, they're kind of scattered all over the place. It's like most of the time it's either like when we look at these galactic places, at least around our local universe, we either see humanoid beings, so like kind of beings that are in a sense resembling us, amphibious beings, feline beings, or like reptilian beings. This is kind of like predominantly the few. I mean, of course, there's a multitude. There's like a shit ton, but I guess what I'm kind of getting at is these are kind of like the known, but then there's also like the Greys and all of these others. But yes, reptilians, they're kind of everywhere. They're all over the place, and this is because I'll get to the specific lizard being I want to talk about, which was the Archimedes. I don't even want to go through that again. But yes, they're scattered all over the place ultimately because it is said that reptilians, right? They was it from Earth? I'm not really sure which planet they like came forth from, but it said that reptilians, they evolved, and they started building technologies, and they just became like purely intelligent. They were purely left brain, like so intellectual, and they built these complex like spaceships and all of these things. And once they did this, then they left their planet, and I think they left their planet because their planet was running out of resources. But yes, they left the planet, and they started they went to other planets, but they didn't go there coming with like we come with peace, or we come in peace rather, I should say. But they went there and they would enslave other species, they would enslave them because of their lack of knowing, their lack of knowledge, and in a sense ultimately that was just it, because reptilian beings were very intelligent, they're very, very intelligent beings, like super smart as fuck. So the Archimedes, the Archimedes or the Acrumaeds. Hope that someone watching this knows what I'm talking about. Knows the species I'm trying to say. It's ARC or it's ACR. Acrumoids or Acrumoids. Look it up and I think it'll pop up, But okay, so let's talk about these beings of the Acrumoids. So these beings, right? So in appearance, it is said that they kind of look like upright reptiles. Like they look like reptiles, like a reptile, like real shit, like a reptile. Except they walk on their back legs, They don't really walk on four legs. They walk on their back legs. And it is said that these beings are very, very big, and they're kind of like muscular as well. And of course, they're reptilian. They're reptilian in their features. You gotta keep that in mind as well. But yes, they said that they're very muscular as well, and they have like a big body, a big build. And ultimately, the species that I'm talking about of the reptilians at the moment, which are the Archimedes. I'm sorry, but I just cannot say that word. They're ultimately said to be of royal descent, so meaning that they came from royalty, I guess you can kind of say, and like ultimately they have green with like purple also, they have like green skin, but there's also like a resemblance of purple on them, if you guys get what I'm saying. And it's like that purple energy is always tied to royalty, right? Is it not? Yeah. And also it is also said that they have such powerful green eyes. I don't know if I'm doing a good job like painting a picture of their appearance, but yes. So it is also said that reptilian bodies, or like, a reptilian body ultimately has like the ability to hold immense amount of energy. Like, for instance, these beings that I'm talking about, the Archimedes, they are like, their body is a battery. It's an energetic body, and I mean an energetic battery, and it has the ability to hold an immense amount of energy. So these Acrumoed beings reside on the fourth dimension. They originally they came from the Orion constellation from the Brilix star system. The Orion constellation from the Brilix star system. I'm not even sure if it's pronounced Brilix. But yes, they came from there. That's like their home, That's where they came from. They came here to Earth, I think like 13,000 years ago, or maybe way, way back, because you see, the thing about these Acrumaed beings, maybe that's the word. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Acrumaed. They are Acrumaed. So they being well, first and foremost, I want to talk about them being the fourth dimension. I want to talk about the fourth dimension. So you see, the fourth dimension and the third dimension, they're actually very, in a sense, kind of like familiar or like similar. Like beings of the fourth dimension, they can perceive us. Beings of the fourth dimension can perceive beings of the third dimension. But for some reason, we beings at the third dimension, we're disconnected, from the other dimensions. From the other dimensions. So we can't really perceive other dimensions, but it's like once you get to the fourth dimension, then you start perceiving the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and so on and so forth. In a sense, you kind of have access to them, rather, I should say. Now, fourth dimensional beings, they are also they perceive themselves to be physical, but they see three-dimensional beings as just being denser, as every dimension has a different set of rules that it's governed by. And when we talk about the fourth dimension, they are kind of more free when it comes to their physical avatar. Like, for instance, they have, most fourth dimensional beings have the ability to shapeshift. Like these Acrumaed beings that I'm talking about, for instance, they are master shapeshifters. They are very good at shapeshifting. They are very good at manipulating the elements around them and things of this nature. But it's also said that fourth dimensional beings, at the fourth dimension, the physical realm is not as stubborn as it is in this third dimension when it comes to like manipulating when it comes to manipulating the physical with our mental mind. It is said that when you go into the fourth dimension, then it is so much more easier for you to manipulate, I guess, matter with your thoughts. Manipulate matter with your thoughts, and thought and manifestation and things of this nature just become much more easier. And ultimately, it's all about vibration. It's all about where you're vibrating at, because this is ultimately what discerns the different dimensions from, the different dimensions. Like these physical bodies we are residing in, it's carbon based, first and foremost. It's carbon. It's not really light just yet. And well, carbon kind of comes from the second dimension, because it's like the first dimension produces the second dimension, and the second dimension produces the third dimension, and the third dimension produces the fourth dimension, and so on and so forth. And the second dimension is ultimately said to be residing between the crust of Earth and the core, the center, the core, however you want to perceive it, flat Earth, round Earth, whatever. Just understand that regardless, there's still going to be layerings, there's still going to be layers and things of this nature. And it is said that, damn, it's fucking cold out here. Ooh, hold up. Okay, this is better. And it is said that these the second dimension is ultimately where it's the it's not etheric. Fuck, I forgot the name, but ultimately this dimension is like where the elements reside. This is where like minerals, alchemical reactions, and things of this nature reside. So that brings me to this. Good thing I brought that up, because now that reminds me. So it's like, damn, I feel like I'm all over the place, but okay, I'll just say it anyways. The fourth dimension, the second dimension, is ultimately what we perceive to be hell. So it is said that there have been specific fourth dimensional beings that we humans perceive to be gods. We perceive to be gods. It's like, for instance, we human beings are elevated in consciousness. So certain beings, like animals, like our dogs, they perceive us as gods. They see that we can use these tools. They see that we can talk. They see all of these things, and our dogs look at us as gods. And to a degree, we kind of did that too to these fourth dimensional beings. So these fourth dimensional beings came, and they kind of were able to manipulate us at a high intensity, because we were kind of because we thought they were gods, so we perceived them as gods and things of this nature. And it's kind of like the same thing with, like, a dog having mad loyalty for you, but you treating it like shit. It's because that dog perceives you as a god. And it's kind of the same thing that kind of occurred in our past. These dimensional beings, fourth dimensional beings, came they didn't really have good intentions, and they kind of manipulated us, but we let it be because we thought they were gods, you feel me? And this is ultimately kind of like the construct of hell. Hell is a made up story that was gifted to us. Well, it's not even a gift though. Was told to us by these fourth dimensional beings to make us fear the second dimension, because the second dimension is ultimately where the elements come from. The second dimension is like where the alchemical, or just the chemical reactions, and like fire boiling and like creating elements, and stuff like that happens. They ultimately made us fear this element, because the second dimension is where we come from. We are the earth, we are these elements, and they wanted to make us fear this because they wanted us not to be able to tap into our true, not to be able to tap into our body, in a sense. Sorry, I feel like maybe I'm not delivering this information the best of my abilities, because it's hella freezing out here. God damn. But yes. So it is also said that our fear of our physical body, for one, roots from our fear of this of the second dimension, because lava, or like that magma, that boiling fiery realm that we are fearful of, is ultimately where we come from. I don't know if you guys can fathom that or perceive that, or like get what I'm saying, but ultimately, by them making us fear where we came from, they in turn made us fear ourselves. They in turn were able to make us, in a sense, fear the physical body as well, to a degree, and disconnect from all things sex as well, our sexuality. It is said that our fear of hell, our fear of the second dimension, is correlated and connected to our fear of sex, and orgasming and things of this nature, because ultimately the second dimension is where it's where we are created. So it's like the second dimension, the elements and things of this nature, they have a creative aspect of them, and sexuality, the energy of sexuality, roots from the sacral chakra. And the cool thing about this is you can actually perceive and see the dimensions out there by the dimensions in here. The chakras. Let's talk about the chakras. First chakra, right, is the earth, is the root chakra, and this is ultimately, I guess you can kind of say, like the metal, the core of the earth, where It's like, it's just a ball of potential, right? It's just earth, right? And then the second dimension is kind of like where this earth starts to be molded and starts becoming these elements and things of this nature, which would be our sacral chakra, which is all about creation. And then the third chakra, which is the solar plexus, is ultimately all about expression, movement. Well, it's like you establish movement in the solar sacral chakra, but like with the solar plexus, it's fire. It's like the dance of movement. It's like animated movement, if you get what I mean. Movement with a purpose, right? I should say, because the sacral chakra energy is very direct oriented. It's a directed energy or directive energy. Hope you guys understand what I'm saying. But yes. So back to that. They made us fear that realm, and in turn, we kind of fear this fearing of that realm. In turn, kind of made us fear the realm within us that resides within us, because everything is corresponding. If you fear something external of you, then you will fear that thing inside of you as well, because the second law of correspondence from the seven hermetic principles states that everything is correspondence. Everything is in correspondence with itself and things of this nature. So yeah, so it's like, let me see. Get that image of hell out of your head, like that image of like there's a devil and he's under the ground, and when you die and you're bad because you decided to indulge in your physical body, that you're gonna go there and you're gonna burn. Get that shit out of your head, man. But yeah, like, I hope you guys can see now what I mean by them making you fear the earth, by them making you fear the second dimension. The second dimension they in turn made you fear your body, made you fear sexuality, sex, and things of this nature. What's his name? Brother Santos Bonacci, he talks about sexual, I guess we'll just talk about tantra, using sex for healing, like, and things of this nature, We actually made a video on that. It's on my channel too, titled Sacred Sex, I think it is. But yes, it's like once you overcome the fear and you start utilizing sex for creation, I guess you can kind of say, and kind of start understanding what it is and understanding the energy. Because, okay, well, let me rather just say this. Sex can also be perceived as sacred energy exchange. The S would be the sex, the S would be the sacred, the E would be the energy, and the X would be the exchange, sacred energy exchange. A lot of people are also very, very hesitant, or kind of they're scared when it comes to talking about sex, or like when other people talk about sex. So, well, I'm sorry if this kind of makes you feel uncomfortable that I'm talking about this subject, but it's like we really need to disconnect from the programs, from the old programs, and step into understanding, realization, understanding. But yes, I guess I just wanted to get that out the way. But I'll cover that in depth also later. Or I'll bring that back up, because I haven't even talked about Mr. Arkham. I'll just call him the Lizard King, alright? Wait, whoa. Yeah, because the being I'm talking about, the Acrumaed, it is said that, well, no, it's not said, but it's, so you see, reptilian beings, they're predominantly very, very physical. They are masters of genetic manipulation, genetic engineering, crossbreeding, cloning, and things of this nature. They have that ability to spread life. They it is said that they came here and they wait, I hesitated because I'm just over here thinking about how deep I just went, and this is like a video about reptilians. Oh shit. But like, honestly, I just can't make like a 10-minute video. Like, that's not me. I'm like so Gemini. I have so much Gemini energy, and I have like Gemini. My Mercury's in Gemini in the 9th house. I have Mars in Sagittarius in the 3rd house, and I have Pluto in Sagittarius in the 3rd house as well. So that's a conjunction. Then I have an ascendant in Virgo. So my moon, my sun, my moon and my sun are in Gemini, and then my ascendant is in Virgo. So I can talk. I can talk, but I guess that Virgo energy makes my talking relevant. So then I'm not just blah 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 blah, like just talking about talking just to talk, but that Earth energy, I guess in a sense, helps me structure my talking and things of this nature. I hope you understand what I'm saying. But yes. Let me just jump right back into the Archimons. So yes, it said that they came from the Orion system. I already said that. The Orion constellation, from the Brilix system, a planet in the Brilix system, the Brilix solar system. I think I can say that. I'm not sure. But yes, so it is said that they came here to this earth, right? And they are responsible for helping bring forth certain species, and the creation of certain species, including us humans. They had a role to play with our creation as well, as they are like as they are, master genetic engineers and things of this nature. Yeah. Well, and it is also said that the king of what was that place called? Really, nigga? I'm gonna forget what. Well, honestly, the name's not coming to me, sadly, but there was this king. There were these kings, rather, I should say. King of. Well, the point is, hold on, I'm gonna look in my notes to see if I can find it. But the point is, there were these kings, right? Who were ultimately descendants of the reptilian beings, but they weren't reptilians in of themselves. But it is said that they were like hybrids of human reptilian, and this was a king. I forgot, but there was this king, and while bringing that up, I also want to mention that the Queen of England is a fucking reptilian. Well, and I probably sound like cuckoo or weird for saying that, but not a reptilian, but like a hybrid, like human reptilian type shit, if you guys get what I'm saying. Hold on. Give me a second. Powerful eyes. And this land is like a sacred land, I guess you could kind of say. Like, this land is talked about, when we talk about lands concerning our I'm just mad that I forgot it, because now, well, you know what, actually all I could do is, hold up, give me a second, I'm gonna pause this and I'll be back. Okay, so I guess it was the Kings of Epidemia, right? I hope that's the right word. Anyways, but yes, it is said that there were the Kings of Epidemia. The ones like that, in a sense, had a role in our the development of our consciousness, I guess you can kind of say, or like They were just these powerful kings, and they were from Epidemia. Kings of Epidemia. I don't know if that like rings a bell to you guys, but yeah. So they said that these kings of Epidemia, they were descendants of reptilians, but they weren't fully reptilian beings. They're like hybrids, like half reptilian, half humans. Because the reptilian beings, they're masters of like they're masters of genetic engineering, so they can do things of this nature, crossbreed and shit like that. And that kind of brings me to this. I also want to say, like, okay, so check this out. When you want to fatten someone up, right? Like when you want to make someone fat, you give them fat, right? You give them not fattening food, but let's just say fat. Like you would literally give them fat, right? So now when you want to genetically modify someone, doesn't it only make sense that you would give them GMOs, like genetically modified food? Like, you guys get what I'm getting at here? Like, you literally are what you eat, and it's like, because we are eating these genetically modified foods, in turn, we ourselves are getting genetically modified as well, because a lot of people, and this is ridiculous to me, because I remember, I was in biology class, and I, as when I was in school, biology, science was is my favorite subject, so I favored my science teacher, and I thought she was like so intelligent. She was my favorite teacher, and then there was this one day when we were talking about genetically modified food, and she was talking about how, oh yes, it makes it better and shit like that. She was talking about how it makes the fruits bigger, and it's like the answer to this and this and that. She said it's the answer to human hunger, but yeah, to ending human world hunger. But the truth is, we have so much like food that we put into livestock. So we have so much food that we are feeding these animals. Well, what's interesting is, everyone knows, even the beings that are in control of, these meat industries and shit like that, they know that we don't need meat. But the reason why they're continuously doing this is it's because they're kind of negative entities, and they feed off of this negative energy that they are producing through the suffering of the animals. But not only to the suffering of the animals, but you see, when you eat something, you become what you eat, literally, even at an energetic level. So when you're eating these animals that have suffered, and you eat that, you and yourself start holding that energy, that energy of suffering, the energy of fear and things of this nature. So it's not because they think that, no, we need meat. They know we don't need that shit, but they do it because also, like just the fear aspect of it, and it generates so much negative energy, so much negative energy. But yeah, so she said that was the answer to world hunger and things of this nature, and I didn't interrupt her. Like, I let her talk, I let her finish and everything, because we're civil here, we can have a civil conversation or whatever. So then she got done talking, and I was just like, actually, when you eat genetically modified foods, you yourself become a genetically modified organism. So I think I triggered her because I called her a genetically modified organism. It wasn't directly, because I was speaking in general. Like, I didn't call her a genetically modified organism, you feel me? But I was just like, well, actually, these foods are genetically modifying us. And this triggered her. Like, her face switched up, and I was, because, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like the teacher-student. She's like, I'm the teacher, you're the student, stay in your place. But, I know a thing or two. Miss, what was her name? Damn, I forgot her name too. But, yo, what a teacher. What a teacher. She was a Leo, so yes, Leos can be dramatic. Blah, 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 blah. She was a Leo, and her Jupiter was in Scorpio. So, yeah, or maybe you don't know. But yes. When you eat these genetically modified foods, you yourself become a genetically modified organism. You know that saying, you are what you eat? Literally, you are what you eat. Like, you literally are what you eat. So if you're eating genetically modified food, then you in turn are being genetically modified. You know, I was just thinking, like, reptilians, we say that reptilians are responsible for all of this. Not all of, God, I always want to, like, put that disclaimer out there that, like, not all reptilians are the same. And I really feel like this comes from, like, my friend, because I was talking to him about reptilian beings. And I was talking to him, and I was just like, bro, like, look at all the shit that they're doing. And he was like, you gotta keep in mind that not all reptilians are the same, So it's like, I guess he kind of put me on my place or whatever. But yeah, I guess not all reptilians are the same, But it's ultimately said that it's because of these reptilian beings that, in a sense, we are where we are to a degree. Of course, there are also other negative beings also. But it's like, we know that reptilian beings, they're also, masters of genetic engineering, genetic manipulation. So I'm like, wow, it makes so much sense. Like, don't you guys think? Can't you guys see how it could be them who came up with this whole ideology of, like, wanting to genetically modify this and that? And it's like, also, you have to think about this too. We human beings, I doubt that we came to this realization of, like, this, like, of genetically modifying something by ourselves. I mean, I guess we might have, but, like, what are the chances? And it's like, there are beings that walk amongst us, predominantly reptilian beings. When we're talking about the negative aspect of it, that we say that there is this 1% that rules the world ultimately, this negative 1% that rule the 98%, right? But it's like, well, yeah. But it said that this 1%, these families, it said because this 1% are kind of like families that are scattered all over the place. It is said that they're ultimately all, like, hybrids of human and reptilian. They're hybrids, And predominantly there's so much controversy about how the Queen of London is a reptilian. Gotta give thanks to freedom of speech. Gotta give thanks to that, right? Because of that, I can sit here and say whatever the fuck I want. Yo, I really think that, the people that were getting persecuted back in the days for saying crazy shit, they were probably Geminis, like air signs or some shit like that. It would make sense to me, because I feel like at least me, like, I just if I know something, if I know truth that I know is gonna benefit another person, I'm not shutting up, And it's like, I've died before, like, people talk about death experiences, but I've actually, like, died and had a death time and everything, and I returned from the dead, I guess you can kind of say. I'll make along the lines, I'll make a story about, I'll make a video sharing my story, but not in this video. But it's like, because I went through that mongering, that fear tactic of death, it doesn't scare me, like, I'm not afraid to fucking die, and I feel like that's one of their biggest fears. Like, their biggest fear is when you let go of fear. That's what they're afraid of, because that's how they are holding you hostage, I guess you can kind of say. But yes, back to the reptilian being. Let me stay on track. Let me stay on subject. Yo, yoga is crazy, man. Like, we correlate yoga to feminine, to a feminine theme, but it's ultimately just stretching, and it's like, it's very vital. It's very necessary for the blood flow and, things of that nature. I know I said let me get back on subject, but I just wanted to mention that for some reason. But, yes. Well, also, let me just say this too. You see, your mental is a reflection of your physical body, and your physical body is a reflection of your mental body. So when you work on your physical body, in turn it affects your mental body, positively or negatively. And actually that is on subject. That does tie to the reptilian beings, the Archimedeans. Archimedeans, really negative. The Archimedes, rather, I should say. Because these Archimedes are said, the Archimed being is said to be like the king of the elements, the elementals. Yes, the king of the elements or the elementals. You can perceive it either way. It is said that these beings, they have the ability to shapeshift. For one, of course, because of the tremendous energy that their body is able to hold. But for two, it's because in a sense they have that ability to kind of project themselves into the elements, like they are the elements. It's kind of like Lucy, right? But yeah, I'm also going to talk about the movie Lucy in this bitch. Excuse my language. Oops. But sorry guys, I'm just so distracted today. But yeah, they're able to do this, it's like they're kind of able to because they're like the masters of the elements, they're able to manipulate in their home planet, rather, I should say. Even in this planet as well, they have the ability to manipulate the earth, the elements around them. They also have the ability to manipulate what's this word? Manipulate the weather patterns. But wait, I'm just now thinking deep, because it's like, what are these underground civilizations that we talk about? Because when we talk about reptilians, a lot of us like to say that they reside underground. Also, I do want to say this. This is not gonna be like the one and only reptilian video I made. This is like covering the Archimedes, because there's a multitude of reptilian beings. Now I think I'm gonna cover ultimately three or two reptilian beings. Maybe two, because this is more like the positive, and maybe I'll make a video on the negative also, even though it's a mix, actually. Whatever. So yes, they are manipulators of the elements, but not only that, but they are also said to reside within the element, in a sense, like because they came here, right, before us. And not only came here before us, but they also, in a sense, ascended before us. It is said that because of their nature, they kind of are the earth as well. Like, they, not the earth, but it's more like the earth is the element. So what the fuck am I saying? But yes, like, it is said that they, and of themselves, also reside within the elements. I guess it's not really the physical them, but maybe their energy also resides around the element. And I feel like this is kind of why they have that ability to shapeshift, because their energy is kind of being projected out into their surroundings. So it's like, if they want to shapeshift, then they can just manipulate the energy around them and shapeshift. So it is said, because of this, it is said that they, to a degree, kind of reside within us too. But it's like, ultimately, I feel like Reptilian, Satan, Saturn, 666, and all of these things are just a body, right? Like, the beast, right, I should say. And it's like, when we think of a reptilian being, we do think of like a beast-like being, like, yeah, some people think fur and things of this nature, but I feel like a reptilian is also like a beast, but it's like, when we talk about beast, we're ultimately talking about us, like the physical body, Ugh. Whoa. But yes, So these Archamoid beings, I already said that they're masters of manipulating genes. They're masters of manipulating the physical realm, the energies around them. They're crazy shapeshifters. They know how to shapeshift like crazy. When you connect with when you choose to overcome your fear and connect with a reptilian being, they will help you anchor into your physical body. They will help you, especially the Archamoids. They will help you so maybe I'm saying the name wrong, but I did kind of give a brief description of how they look, no? So yes, try to when you want to connect with this being, try to perceive a reptile, you know, but like a fucking reptile that's standing upright, you know, standing upright. And this reptile, you can perceive it however you want, but ultimately, it's No, you can't perceive it however you want. Whoa, what the fuck am I saying? So look, it's a reptile, right? And it's standing and it's up front. It is pretty big, huge, and it's very muscular as well. It has reptilian features upon it, and its colors are ultimately green and purple. You know, green and purple. So I guess when you want to connect to these Archamoid beings, tune into that energy, you know, and ask them to come through. And what they will do, or what it will do, is really help you anchor into your physical body. If you have a discussion with this if you have a discussion with the Archamoid being, they will help you, you know, transcend the traumas and like the problems we have around sexuality, the problems we have around our physical body. They will help you in a sense reconnect with the elements within your body as well. They can really teach you how to connect with your body as well, like connect with your body at a level that kind of Lucy did, I guess you can kind of say, to a degree. But nah, we're not superhumans like that just yet, right? I mean, I'm a superhuman. Are you? But yeah, you know, they will help you have a better understanding of like your body, because they have access to multitude of genetic information that belong to a multitude of species. I feel like I really could have said that better, but yes, they have access to a shit ton of other species' DNA information, you know, because they are one of the genetic masters, you know, one of the genetic masters. It's like God and how we perceive God in this day and age, or in the God that religion speaks of. These are ultimately just other beings that are higher in dimension than us, you know. Yeah, like ultimately beings that are in higher dimension than us. And don't you think it's like, and they're reptilian as well, and reptilian is very masculine. Now, don't you think it's interesting how we were made to believe that God is a man? Like, this shit is so so subconscious, you know. Some people talk and they're like, God, he came to me, God, he did this for me, God, he did that for me, you know. But it's like, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, what you need to realize is you were there once too, you know. So it's like, once you realize that God is in a sense feminine and masculine energy and union, balance, God is ultimately balance. God is a creator, you know. This is what we know it as to be, you know, creator. Creation comes forth when the feminine and the masculine come. For instance, at the physical level, this would be the joining between the feminine and the masculine, which is sex, you know. Or like art, for instance, to a degree, is like art also is like the coming of the physical and the non-physical. Like the physical could be how we articulate it, and then the non-physical would be how we articulate it, and the physical would be where the articulation is coming from. I don't know, but it's rather, I should say this, like, you know, DNA is the masculine, protein is the feminine expression. I hope you guys get that now. I hope you guys get what I'm saying now, But yes, it's ultimately not a man. No, God is not a man. But a a it's the balance of two energies. Like I can't even say God is a, like God is not a thing. Like I don't think I can even say God is a thing, because it's like God, source, is ultimately everything. It is the all, we also consider to be the all. So yes, and I bring that up because I really feel like the reptilian beings were one of like the manipulators, and they probably did gift us. I said it again. They probably were the ones who brought religion to this earth, and in that they did make you believe that God is a he, but God is not a he. But yes, it's like as we progress in this day and age that we are in, a lot of us are, I guess, lucky to be in this day and age, because look, it's like it's in this day and age that we're gonna see all of those constructs that all of these beings have worked so hard on to build fall apart, collapse. All of these government systems are to collapse, in this upcoming age, as we start seeing truth, as we start resonating at the heart frequency of love and things of this nature. Then we kind of then they kind of don't have a place. They don't really have a place here, because we are the ones who are technically kind of letting them be here, like, if you get what I mean. Because by us being asleep, we are creating a good environment for them to be here, but yes, they will not. The system is to be collapsing, blah blah blah. You guys get what I'm saying? So we are most fortunate to be in this day and age. But it's like, as that happens, as the system is to fall, collapse, they themselves, kind of amp up their efforts, to kind of, well, because now it's not even a means of they think they got a chance, but now it's more of a means of like they're gonna enjoy the time they still have here, because they know that their time is coming up. But damn, let's talk about Mr. Acrumaed. I think I really did, I think I covered everything perfectly well. Acrumaeds. Yes, when you call upon them, they will come to you, and they will truly help you look at the issues that you have around your sex life, like sexuality, rather I should say. The issues you have around sexuality, they'll really help you bring this forward and help you heal it, I guess you can say. As they themselves are very creative in essence, with the shape-shifting from the genetic manipulation and all of this stuff, and ultimately sexuality is the energy of creation. I think I already mentioned this. Yes, I want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. I think I said everything. Yes. Thank you, beautiful soul, for watching this beautiful video brought to you by me solely. And if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you feel like it, then do subscribe and hit that like button. And like I say, namaste, beautiful soul.